Hi, in this video we are going to learn how to add textures to our design. I want to stress that before you add textures, it is a good idea to complete as much of your 3D design as possible. Once we start adding textures to the design, it's really going to start to slow down and lag your computer, so different moves that you do may become harder to do. So save adding textures to the very end. So let's look at how to do that. To find your textures, we will go over to the toolbar and we select the paint can that says paint. When we click it over here, we'll have a menu that typically looks like this, where we have solid colors that we can paint with. What I had open is this button. When you click this button, Browse, it has by category all these different textures that we can use to really bring our project to life. So let's go ahead and start with the windows. We're going to turn these windows into transparent glass that we can actually see through. So to do that, we'll go over to this menu and we'll find glass and mirrors. And once we open that, you can see we have a lot of different options. To make it see-through or transparent, you'll want to pick one of these that actually says translucent when you hover over it. That tells you that it's going to be see-through. I like to go with this classic blue, but you can pick whatever window you want for your project. So I'm going to select blue, and I'm going to zoom in on one of my windows, and I'm going to click each panel of the window, there, 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 and there. And now when I start to move my camera, you'll notice that the window is actually see-through and I can see inside of my house. I'm going to do the same thing to this window. Change it to glass. And we'll change this little window by the door to glass too. Nice. Now that we have the glass added, let's work on the roof of the house. So I'm going to minimize this menu and I'm going to select roofing and pick a type of roof or shingle that you think would look good for your house. I'm kind of boring. I like this gray look, so I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to pan up to the roof of my house. I'm going to click that, and notice it paints the entire section in that texture you selected. Let's do the same with the back. I'm going to hold off on doing this trim on the sides. I'm going to do that in a different color. So now let's do the chimney. I'm going to make this chimney a brick. So I'm going to close this menu and go up to brick. And I'm going to select a brick that I think looks pretty good for a chimney. I'm going to go with this kind of medium colored brick. And I'm going to click and paint each of the 4 sides with this texture. This is going to take a lot of maneuvering with your camera to get it just right. I'm also going to do the trim along the top. And I'll make the insides brick too. Now the very bottom I don't want to necessarily be brick. This bottom part I'm going to make the illusion that it goes really deep. So I'm going to click the house button, which brings up my solid colors, and I'm going to select black, and I'm going to add that right there to give that kind of a black color. It gives the illusion that it goes all the way into the house. I'm going to zoom out. And now I can go back to my textures. Let's make a wood door. So I'll close this and scroll down to wood and pick a wood that I think looks good for my door. I like this wood. So go ahead and paint that with the wood texture. I may also want to do the trim. Maybe I want to do a little bit different shade of wood for the trim to make it a little bit darker. It's nice to get all the details of your design when you paint. Every surface has to be painted. So notice I had to click that frame on every surface to make sure that every surface got painted. I'm going to pick a metal for my doorknob. So I'll close that and select some metal. This light metal looks pretty good. I'm going to paint the front there and the sides. Good. And if I want, I can go back to the brick and maybe make these brick stairs. So I'll make the stairs some brick. Maybe I'll pick a different type of brick for it. This looks nice. So we'll paint our stairs in that texture. All right, this is really starting to look like a house. Now I may want to go back and make wood trim for the windows as well. I can do that very quickly. We'll select wood. We'll get the same darker color wood, and I'll go in and get the trim of the window, and make sure that you, as you're texturing this, remember, get all the little parts of the trim. So I would go around and make sure that I get all these parts of the window. So pretend that I went around and textured the rest of this window. I'm going to show you how to do the siding of your house. Now you could make this a brick house and go back to the brick and select brick for it, but I'm going to go up to brick cladding and siding, and I'm going to select one of these siding materials. I know I'm very boring, but I'm going to pick this like classic white grayish siding. I'm going to use that texture to texture the sides of the house. And I may want to decide what I want to do with this trim here. I may want to make it a wood color or dark color. I'll really leave that up to you. So this is the basic way that we texture. Remember, solid colors are under this home. And then when you want to find the other more complicated textures, you can click Browse right here. You also have the colors right here. You can find a lot more colors in this section. All right, good luck and enjoy texturing your design.